If you have heard the two words real estate, odds are you've heard the name Ryan Sirhan in the same sentence. Ryan is one of the most successful real estate brokers in the world right now and has built an empire on his name after starring on Bravo's $1 Million Listing New York and its spinoff show dedicated to him and his incredible ventures in the real estate world. To then go off and build his own brokerage right here in New York City after spending 12 years dominating the industry. Now, this is on top of all of his speaking engagements, TV program appearances, and not to mention his best-selling book, Sell It Like SERHANT. This guy is someone you look at and just wonder to yourself, how the hell does he do it all? There's got to be a secret sauce or two that keeps him going, so let's ask him right now because he's today's man of the hour. You are always full of the most ambitious and authentic energy. I only hope that we can have some of that here on the show today. I know we'll have some of that on the show. So thank you for being today's man of the hour. But how have you been doing since the pandemic, since the launch of Sirhan? I'm sure you're in a whirlwind of emotions throughout the year of 2020, but what's been going on?
2020 has been very unexpected, kind of expected. You know, I left the brokerage company I was at for 12 years and started my own company, and I knew I was going to do that. Unexpected in the sense that the world shut down. Lots of people have been dying. It's been totally insane and awful and tragic at the same time. But listen, I'm the kind of person who, like, I don't dwell on failures. I don't dwell on change. You got to move forward. Like if you hit in the face by a wave, like you got to keep swimming, right? Like you don't just stop and say, oh man, let me think about that wave that hit me in the face for 3 weeks. That's 3 weeks of your life you're never going to get back. So when we got shut down, everyone had to go. It's like, you know what? This is a blessing in disguise. We're going to use this time to build the future, build the business, because otherwise we never would have had this time. And thinking back on it now, with my entire team who actually did all the building, you know, I don't know how we would have done it had we not had the shutdown. It would have been like weekends and nights and it would have been weird. So we used that time to build our future, all while, like, you know, all of our business was falling apart left and right. Buyers were pulling out of deals. People were leaving New York City in droves. But it's been exciting, man. Like 2020 is the absolute worst, but the absolute best year to do something like this. And, you know, we'll make it through alive, which is great. And I think it'll be fun to look back, right? Like, what were you doing during COVID? We were not watching Netflix, that's for sure.
Yeah. Especially after month one, right?
Well, month one, it was build company / at first it started with Tiger King.
It did. Right? I was just going to say that.
Everyone watched it. The whole world watched that show.
And Too Hot to Handle too, I think.
Yeah. It was Tiger King. And then it was Ozark season 3, right? Which got really, really kind of scary and crazy. But it's like the shows kind of got like much, much more drastic as things got real dark, right? Because like in March, it was just freaking crazy and weird. And then April, kind of the same thing. What's happening? Stock market, this. And in May, it was just like, are we still doing this? Is this still happening? And then June, shit got real bad. And then July, it was happy. It was sunny again. Like, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine. Let's figure it out. And now, like, here we are.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Well, more about you, Ryan. Let's go back to the very beginning. I think before you'd start building an empire on your name, let alone everything that you do in real estate, it had to have started somewhere. And I believe it was acting and hand modeling at one point. So before getting into real estate even, I mean, what brought you to New York City? And then from there, where did real estate really pique your interest to then now have everything you have going for you and the team?
Yeah, I've always been somebody who, you know, I don't dwell on the destination, right? I'm very much focused on the journey. I have my goals, obviously. I know I want to get somewhere, but the somewhere that I want to get to is a successful, happy, awesome life. You know, I don't get stressed out that I haven't done X, done Y, or done Z. And so, like, I went to college to do what I liked doing, which was theater. I was also an English major because my parents made me. And then the only thing I liked doing was theater. So it's like, you know what, I'm going to go to New York. And my parents were in Boston at the time. That's where I grew up. And so, you know, I decided I'm going to give it a go and see if I can make it work. I'll give myself 2 years. And I did not make it work. I totally ran out of money. I got on a soap opera, did some things, but I just kept saying yes to opportunities. And a friend said, listen, get your real estate license so you can pay your bills. It's the same thing as acting. You're just going to memorize information about a building and you're going to improv all day long with random people you meet. I'm like, okay, I guess I could do that. And because I didn't take it seriously, I wasn't stressed about it. And because I was so used to being rejected as an actor about my face and about my voice, being rejected because of an apartment didn't really mean anything to me. And so it was almost this weird, backhanded, subconscious, easy transition. And then I just became addicted to the business. I got like excited. I was like, wait a minute, I could actually pay my bills and not be scared about money. And I could maybe save $5 and holy shit, I could get a bigger apartment than my one-room studio where I share a bathroom with 17 people in the middle of Koreatown. Like all of these possibilities, like I just had no idea how I was ever going to get to them, but I just sort of made them happen. So I just kept saying yes over and over and over and over and over. And that's how I got into the real estate business, was just, I got to figure out how to pay my rent. So I don't have to move home, because if I move home, then I'm a failure. Like that's what I thought. Like if I go home, that's it, right? I'll never come back to the city. You don't move home to then go back to doing what you were doing before. I would have gone to some other city, or I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah. And aside from the rejections, any other time that you might have been defeated though, what were you constantly reminding yourself of while staying in New York, knowing you didn't want to leave?
I kind of honestly kept reminding myself that I'm young, right? I was 22, 23, 24, 25, like I'm in my early 20s. I have time to figure it out. Let me just actually figure it out, and let me decide what works best for me. And if it's going to be acting, great. If it's going to be real estate, okay, fine. If it's going to be something else, I wasn't so focused on the end result. Like I said, I was focused on success. Like that has always been my through line. Like I want to be successful with whatever I do, right? And I don't need everything to be a win, but I want overall what I work on to be a success. So if I was in a play or doing a short film, I want it to be successful. I want it to be seen by the people, and I want people to know about it. And now, if I'm starting a new company, I want it to be successful. If I'm selling an apartment, I want to successfully get it sold. And so I made that decision early on. I think even when I was a little kid, like I am going to be successful when I grow up. I just don't know how I'm going to get there or what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll be the most successful firefighter. I don't know. But I want to live a nice life. I want to be happy. Life is short. I want to make the absolute most of it. I don't ever want to have to be concerned or worried about money for the rest of my life, because I know what that feels like. And it's a disease and it sucks. And I'll do everything I can to work 1,000 hours around everybody else. Well, that was kind of it. I do that now. I'm the worst real estate brokerage in New York City right now.
Why?
Because we started on October 1st. I've been legal for 60 days. I had the least amount of agents, the least amount of business. I went from being the number one team in New York year after year after year after year. It's so depressing. And now I'm like the bottom. I'm not a team anymore, right? So I'm not an agent. I'm just like, now I've run this whole company, and we're like at the bottom of the list, which I actually, it's depressing, but it's also, I kind of like, because now I have somewhere to go again, right? Like, I'm like, all right, you big companies with billions of dollars and investors' money and thousands of agents, I'm coming. Give me a second, but I'll get there.
Hey everybody, your host Justin Crawford here, and I'm bringing you a proud message from our sponsors at Velement. Velement is a men's hair brand specializing in styling products started by the popular men's grooming YouTube creator Joseph Andrews, aka Velement. I'm excited to share that their latest Discovery Styling Kit is out right now and contains 5 hair styling products, all in a convenient travel size. But let's hear from one of their most satisfied customers right now.
Hi, my name's Christian. I'm all about that matte finish, but my hair is very fine, so I need a product that isn't going to weigh my hair down. So I use Monarch Matte Paste. A product that is super lightweight in the hair and also gives me a matte finish. It's really easy to apply and wash out, which makes styling my hair a breeze.
I spend so much time trying to find the right product for my hair.
But with Velement's Discovery Kit, you can now try their full range of styling products before deciding on your favorite.
Find the product for you.
Now, if he didn't convince you to make a purchase of that Discovery Styling Kit, I also want to offer you 10% off with our code REALTALK10 for 10% off at www.bluemon.com. And when you head to checkout, if you want 10% off, just use our code REALTALK10. What do you say about taking the first step for better hair today? Back to the episode we got. You'll probably use the same techniques and methods that you probably found along the way too. If you had a secret sauce in real estate that has made such a scary, intimidating, hard industry, Ryan, kind of be easy as you kind of keep going, or find a little bit of ease as you keep going through real estate? Is there a secret sauce you found along the way that you'll now take to Sirhan into the new year?
I mean, the secret sauce to anything, and especially to sales, right, and to being an entrepreneur, is follow up. And I have I have my 3 F's: follow up, follow through, and follow back. And those are, I live and die by that, right? I think everyone's busy. Everyone's busy. Everyone's got jobs. Everyone's running around. You don't want to be someone's decision when they decide to do something. Okay. You want to be their decision because you've made that choice to be their decision. So you want to be in front of people all the time, right? Be the obvious choice, be the role before you are the role, like all those things. And I follow up with people until they die. We're doing a deal right now for $40 million in Miami, of all places, with a guy I followed up with every other week since 2012. Right. And that's it. It took me 8 fucking years.
Yeah.
But the deal gets done, and I don't care about the last 8 years of my life. I lived them all. I made the best use of them as I possibly could, right? It got me to where I am now. And hey, that's a deal that I'm doing now that I otherwise wouldn't have had. Good thing Ryan of the past put in all that time, right? And follow up is also easy. You know how easy it is to send an email, send a text, pick up the phone, touch base with somebody. Super, super, super easy.
Yeah. And then, I keep hearing too that everybody wants real estate or being a broker or an agent of some kind in the world of real estate to be their side hustle or even a temporary gig. What are your thoughts on that? And, is it that easy to just get your license and start selling if you want to do it temporarily, or, is it something worthwhile where you should make a career out of it as you do?
Yeah, it is. Good question. It's super easy to get your license, relatively easy in the United States anyway. It's easy to hang your license with somebody. It's very, very, very hard to make money. Real estate brokerage has nothing to do with real estate and everything to do with trust, right? Because someone is spending money with you. Now, obviously, you can get your license and your brother can put your name down as the broker and you can make a small commission from that sale, right? You can do a handful, but how many one-hit wonder bands exist out there that never did anything else? If you want to get your real estate license to be a one-hit wonder and do a deal or two, go for it. Sweet, no problem. But if you want to make a career out of it, if you want to crush it, and if you want to have a limitless income, right? Because no one's ever going to tell you to stop selling. No one's ever going to say, "Hey, listen, man, dude, you sold too much this year. We're gonna pay you less," right? You eat what you kill. So there's no ceiling. There's also no floor. Right? If you kill nothing, you eat nothing, and no one gives a shit, and no one's going to pay you, and there's no salaries, and there's no benefits. But that limitless potential is only there if you really put your heart and soul into it. I only saw what the possibilities were once I really pushed that acting bug that I had inside me to the side. My quote unquote passion was theater. And I had to put it to the side, and I devoted all my time to real estate. I didn't take a day off for 3 years, and I built the foundation of what I have now. But, I also have a significant amount of energy, and working makes me very, very excited. And I like work, right? I like follow up. I like building things, putting things together. So you gotta like work, even work that's not glamorous. Because if you don't, it's gonna be really, really hard. But short answer is you can do it part-time, but it would be very hard to make actual money to do it that way.
More on the foundation that you've built though. You have a vlog and you've done so much content production around Sirhan, Ryan Sirhan. You were on a reality show, you even wrote a book about all of that, I'm sure too. And then, so when you think about how the similarities of what you were doing in acting, as that what you thought was your purpose and what you thought you were going to pursue, and then 2 years later found that you dipped your toes in real estate, and that became one. Then to turn real estate somewhat, we look at Ryan Sirhan, we owe more of a TV personality and as a content creator and someone who's always in front of a camera with great energy, sometimes more than a real estate broker because you're so good at what you do. So, when you think of how you're able to build the parallel there as you've built your career, obviously you probably started focusing just in real estate. Then now, to get picked up by Bravo and then so on and so forth with the YouTube vlog and such, what's the parallel there now for you? And, you kind of are able to go and still entertain people in a way.
Yeah. I'd say, listen, I think that, how do I want to answer this? Like $1 Million Listing coming around and the reality TV and all that just was a total happenstance. Like it was just by chance. I saw a casting call, and because I had prepared my whole life to be in front of a camera, it's like, oh, you're looking for brokers? Reality TV is weird, because reality TV in 2010, right? Which is when that started in the beginning of 2010, was like Survivor, American Idol, Kardashians. It wasn't what it is today, where every other show is a reality TV show. And so it's like, I'll just go check it out and try it out. And that's what I did. And then I knew what to do when I was in front of a camera. And I think a lot of other real estate agents I was competing against just didn't, even though they were way more experienced, but I knew what would make good TV. So I gave them that. And then they cast me on it. And here we are, 10 years later.
Yeah. Do you ever think maybe at one point you would dabble in the film or reality TV world, maybe 5 years from now, for example? And if you did, what would you kind of create a show around if that bug sparked you?
We create, we're doing right now, we have our own network as part of our brokerage called Listed. It's on YouTube. It's in partnership with YouTube. And we have real estate shows that are all different, starring actual agents that do real business who work here. And they're all entertaining and they're hilarious and they're awesome. And everybody should go check them out. youtube.com/listed. And I think that is where the world heads from there. If there's another movie role that comes around, sure. But I think, building this network and bringing real estate kind of media content to the world is what really excites me in a digital space where people have it on your phone. Right. At any time. You don't have to search for it. It's like absolutely right there. And so over the next 5 years, I want to make sure that we really build that up to the best it possibly can be.
All right, time to take a quick beat from this incredible conversation and give you a proud sponsored message from our partners of this episode, Cosmic Green Candles. They're a Massachusetts-based candle company that believes that it's all about the vibe and staying environmentally friendly as you light your candles. Now that's from their wood wicks to their soy wax that they use. Everything is all about what they believe in, which is staying sustainably friendly and making sure that you enjoy every single candle. Two of my favorite candles from Cosmic Green Candles is Sweater Weather and Santa's Workshop, both of which burn really slow and they light the room up and smell so good so quickly. I think they are the perfect stocking stuffers for your loved ones this holiday season. I promise they smell so good, and the best part is when you're burning the soy wax inside, it is so friendly to the environment for all of us as it's not releasing any negative toxins into the air. Cosmic Green Candles supports reforestation as well, so every one candle that you buy, they plant one tree with the One Tree Planted campaign as their reinforcement to their mission, which is to be sure that they are protecting our planet as we burn our candles and enjoy them. For some of the best candles out there that smell so good and that are so friendly to our environment, be sure to head to cosmicgreencandles.com and just use the code CandleSeason20 for 20% off your entire order. That's cosmicgreencandles.com, 20% off with the code CandleSeason. Let's get back to the episode, and I encourage you to buy a candle or two for a loved one this year as you're tuning in. Ryan, your energy is always so contagious. It's one of the first things we see when we see you is your high energy, the capacity you're able to fulfill as a real estate broker, someone who, you have a beautiful wife and daughter too. There's so much in your life that we're all seeing across Instagram and your YouTube channel. And, you know, after seeing you on the show, we can only imagine. That's why I mentioned at the top of the show, like, how does one man even think to do it all? And your mornings are always starting consistently so early. You make so much time for your family on the weekends when you can. There's a lot that you're juggling just as a human being first. But what kind of gets you in the mindset of living every day to the fullest, especially with your goal of success, which encompasses that, you know, living each day with doing as much as you can in all hours?
I think it's a couple things. The big thing for me, honestly, is just like I said, I'm so focused on success that my biggest fear then is failure. And I know that if I don't get up and go to work and do everything I need to do and push and build, then I will fail. And maybe I won't fail, but I'll be average and ordinary. And like, I don't think I was born to be like everybody else. And I don't think anybody was. I think everybody has that ability, right? To separate themselves from the pack, and create noise and stand out in a sea of other people. And, I want to take as much advantage of, kind of the work ethic that I have as I possibly can. That's like the big thing for me. That's what gets me up in the morning. And, and no one tells me to wake up. Like, I don't have to wake up at 4. It sucks to wake up that early. Like, I don't enjoy it. I don't like jump out of bed at 3:57. Like, oh, beat my mom today. Let's go. No, man. Like, I'm up having worked out in the total darkness in New York.
Yeah.
I'm back to my apartment while it's still dark. I get up. I sleep far less than my baby does. But that's that's the role, right? Like,
Yeah.
I want to be successful. And so I've got to milk as much out of my day as I possibly can. Like, there's no sleeping in. I don't know any CEO that started their business by sleeping in, right? You got to hustle. You got to make moves. You got to work incredibly hard. You got to push. You got to take advantage of situations. You got to say yes to every opportunity. You got to leverage yourself. You got to diversify. You got to just move.
If we want to keep moving, though, I'm sure a lot of people are just concerned with the simple fact that when you're, running on high energy all the time, that there might be a sense of burnout that comes, or your immune system might tank. And there's all these problems that people always think about, blah, 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 right? Making excuses for waking up and tackling the day at all hours. But for you, could you give us a short list as to kind of what maybe are you taking by? I know you mentioned working out, but if you had a short list of maybe all the best practices on the daily or at least on the weekly as to like how to sustain being able to work and have energy and keep going really and burning the fuel each day before going back to bed.
So a couple things. First, I'll say, you mentioned, burnout. I think burnout is an excuse word for people to use when they just don't like doing what they do anymore, right? Like, if you don't like doing it, stop doing it. You're not burnt out. You just don't like it. And so now you're not doing it. But the word burnout is cool, right? For millennials, Gen Zs, dude, I'm burnt out, bro. Dude, I've been working so hard. I built this. I'm so burnt. Dude, I got burnout, man. It's like, it's like this automatic like word that you can use as an excuse where people will then say, like, they'll understand other than just telling the truth, which is, nah, I really like my job. I don't want to do it too much anymore. So I'm not. Like, that is quote unquote what burnout is. It's kind of the same thing as like, you're saying you don't have time to get to things that you say you're going to get to, but it's not that, right? You're not overwhelmed. You just have poor time management and you prioritize the wrong things, which is a learning experience I think all of us have to go through.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I credit a lot of being on TV as a factor for my my energy, but also what keeps me going all day. Because if I lose a deal, if I lose a listing, if anything happens to me that's negative, if I do fail, it is incredibly public, and that sucks. And like, that's just like public embarrassment, like you don't want that. And so like that really motivates me to keep going. But I have a second book that comes out February 2nd, called Big Money Energy. That is kind of right along those lines, the question that you're asking, which is like the real secret sauce to everything is, you don't have to change where you were born. You don't have to change who your parents are. You don't have to change your face. If you change your energy, you can change your life, right? If you can affect the energy that you put out into the world, you can effect the world around you. And I'm a big believer in that. And when I learned that, like in 2011 or so, when I was I couldn't understand why I wasn't selling any real estate. Like people around me were selling, doing deals, renting out apartments, making money, hand over fist, and I was like, I don't get it. How come I'm suck at everything? Like, this sucks. I don't want to do this. I realized it was because of, I had no confidence. Right. And, but building confidence is really, really tough, especially in a crazy city like New York. How do you build that confidence? You do it with experience, you do it over time, but there's a word for it, or there's a phrase for it. And I kind of called it like kind of money energy, big money energy, because that's what I wanted, right? I wanted to be able to walk into a room and have that confidence, like somebody who's been doing it for 10 years, who just crushes life. But I want it tomorrow, so I can actually sell things tomorrow. I don't have time to wait 10 years. That'll take forever. And there's a lot of different ways to go about it. So that's what the book is about, to really build that and how to create your energy. But that's how I stay, as active as I am. And obviously I have some downtime, like Saturdays are for the baby. But I do have 2 phones and they're on me at all times.
February 2nd, big money energy. Ryan, I think that book will behold a lot of secrets and maybe even medicine for most people who want to do as much as you do in a day. Maybe not even in real estate, but to some capacity. We look at you and there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of enthusiasm. That's why we wanted to crown you a Man of the Hour on this talk show. But my last question for you, Ryan, the reason I believe we love Ryan Sirhan is because you've always doubled down on things that you found to be passionate points of yours of work, right? And to make you successful as a person, but that have also been of great resource to other people. Hence your new brokerage, the book you put out, the incredible vlogs you put out for people to show them like your lifestyle and give them maybe some BTS even then every now and then. But what does Ryan really want when thinking about the lives you're influencing and changing while you get to do what you love now?
That goes into a lot. We have a sales force and a sales course, right? Where we have like 5,500 members now that I talk to every day. It's our Sell Like Sirhan course and platform, and it's a membership that really, really, really is keeps me going every day. And if I can change the way people think about sales forever, I think I can help a lot of people lead better lifestyles. Because I think a lot of people think that maybe sales isn't for them. Maybe they don't like sales. Maybe they should just go get a regular job and lead a regular life. But if you can figure out how to sell and how to have the confidence to be a salesperson, you can do anything you want and you don't have to answer to anybody but yourself. And that's an amazing thing that anyone can do now in 2020 and beyond. That's what we work on really, really hard with our members day in and day out. And it's made a huge difference in them. Like the stories that I hear from them, every week, the emails that I get, oh my God, the emails, the texts, the DMs, the video testimonials, like, how their lives have changed, how much more business they've done, how excited they are, just the ability to like, hey, paid off my mortgage, man. I don't have that debt anymore because of you. That's awesome. Or, hey, I actually just got the car that I've always wanted. I just got my first Tesla. Like it's been on my vision board forever. And I just got it because of you. Or, hey, we're pregnant with our second baby and I'm not stressed about being able to afford having a second baby because of everything you've taught us. Like that's, I don't know if I want to call it legacy, but that's the effect that I want to have on the world, I guess.
The effect, I'll call it your legacy, Ryan Sirhan. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, and thank you for taking just this amount of time out of your busy schedule to make this happen. For us to call you the Man of the Hour, Ryan Sirhan, thanks again. You're changing lives. Happy holidays to you, your beautiful wife and daughter, and spend some time with them that I know you will. But thanks again so much for your time.
Thanks, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Justin Crawford here, and I'll be back next week with another great guest on the Men of the Hour podcast. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review right here and anywhere else you'd like to listen. Also, check out our Instagram and YouTube channels when you get a chance and see the full video interviews with our guests at Men of the Hour podcast. Thanks for listening. Now get out there and make a positive change for yourself and those around you.